Hello, everyone. I am so excited to talk to you today. It's Val, and today we have a really fantastic show because I am doing my Sundance Spotlight film today on a movie called Girl Picture, and I have the director and the cast that is joining me. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm so excited to have you here, and you're all there in one frame, so we're going to have a lot of fun. So go ahead and introduce yourselves so that we know who everybody is and what your part was in the film.
Sure. Shall we start from there?
Yeah, my name is Eleonoora Kauhanen and I play Rönkkö.
I'm the director, Alli Haapasalo.
I'm Linnea Leino and I play the part of Emma. And I'm Aamu Milonoff and I play Mimmi.
Now, you all have a little different accent than I do, so I want to let everyone know that your entry, you guys are from Finland, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And is this your first film at Sundance?
It is.
It's
actually the first Finnish feature film in competition at Sundance ever.
Wow, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
There are so many great things about this film. One, I want to let everyone know that I put the link over in our comment section, which you're all welcome to ask questions and comments while we're doing this today. But your film is going to premiere today at Sundance at 2:30 Mountain Standard Time. So you still have a chance to get those virtual tickets. The link is right over there in the comment section. So you can go on there and get it. And I have to say, I was a little bummed when I found out that we were going to go all virtual this year, but it has been such an easy process to go on. I have to say, I've turned on the app. I have my Roku on. I'm sitting in my room with my puppies and I'm just watching the movies all day long. And you can almost consume more movies than you probably would have been able to. And I have to say that it's always my goal to really spotlight female and minority filmmakers and storylines. And this year, there were so many that I had to really pick and choose, which made me so happy as a female director. How amazing is that you are a part of a year that is just oozing with female talent in the directorial process?
It feels completely amazing. I went to film school. I started 20 years ago, and I remember people said this is going to be the era for women. It was there were a couple of women ahead of me in film school who were very talented and kind of putting their foot in the door, and people were very excited. And cut to 20 years later only, what's actually happening? But it makes me really proud. And I just read today online that over 60% of the competition films in Sundance this year are directed by people who identify as women. So that is really, really, really amazing. Kudos to Sundance.
Yes, congratulations to you and congratulations to everyone else. It really helps out because, I'm a female film critic in an industry where there aren't very many of us, right? And so trying to find stories that represent storylines for everyone is as difficult. But what attracted me so much to this storyline, and I get to see the movie today with everyone else, so we're not going to share too many secrets. We want you all to see it, but I love the fact that it's kind of a storyline that we can all relate to, right? You've got young women and they are friends. They work together after school, and then they're sharing their lives with each other, and they go through frustrating moments and awkward moments. But we're also getting into storylines that touch, different identities and different sexuality stories. And so there really is something here that you don't often see in an all young women showcase in a movie. Can you tell us a little bit about that, the storyline?
For sure. Actually, I think you see very little of this kind of story, unfortunately. We're quite used to seeing girls represent one thing in the story. They are often the girlfriend. Unfortunately, often they are the victim. They are the bystander. They are not usually so center stage. And if they are center stage, they're usually not that on their own terms. They're often defined by boys or adults. And in this story, we in fact have girls take center stage, and they do everything that they want to do on their own terms. But at the same time, they don't have to be, superstars or mega villains or, some crazy person who is just so interesting that you have to make a story about that. They're for the lack of a better word, regular girls. Like they deal with teenage girls' topics and what's very important in their lives at that time in life. So that was a really important aspect. And the other is female sexuality, which this movie is focusing on, like you pointed out. And in one story, there's two girls who fall in love, but sexual orientation is a non-issue. It's never mentioned because it's a story of a human relationship. And the other storyline follows a girl looking for pleasure. And in that storyline, I think for the lack of a better word, novelty is that this girl never ends up in danger. She's looking for pleasure, but she's not punished for that. We're quite used to seeing that story also. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like if you decide that you want to be a human that goes out looking for something that's unconventional, the storyline usually ends up with like you're now in this really bad situation because you're making bad choices, when really it's just a choice that maybe the next person sitting next to you doesn't want to make, but it's your choice. So it doesn't make it a bad choice. So I love that so much. Ladies, let's get into these characters a little bit. And you can jump in because I know you're all sitting right there, but let's get into the two main characters and the dynamic of the friends. I love when I get to see female characters that are friends in a movie that aren't after each other. Like we all understand, when you're friends with anyone, regardless of sexual orientation or background, you're going to have fights, right? You're going to kind of do that. But let's talk about that different friendship and what that looks like for you. Oh, it looks like they're frozen up a little bit. So I'm hoping that they come back. This is live, everybody. So this is how this works out. And I should have asked them where they're at today because I don't think they're in Sundance, but hopefully we can get them back. I want to direct everybody again over to the comment section. Please feel free to ask questions if you have some, and you can actually buy tickets for this film. Over in the link, I put the link to direct you to Sundance.org so that you can get all the movies. And I have to tell you, it has really been quite a great experience watching all of these movies from home. Yes, I want to go to Sundance. I definitely want to, feel the energy that you get when you go to Sundance and you get to meet these filmmakers in person and you get to have these interviews in person and you get to see the Q&As after the movies. But since we can't do that, I love that we have the opportunity to do this. We've got you back. It's live. This is how it works. Yay. I forgot to ask you, where are you streaming from today?
We actually checked into a hotel. It's our own little virtual Utah in Helsinki. So
you're in Helsinki?
Yes.
Yeah.
When I went to film school at USC, I had a filmmate from Helsinki. That's the only other. So now I know 5 people from Helsinki. So that's so great.
I bet we know your schoolmate, actually.
So, ladies, let's get into that relationship I'm talking about the friend dynamic before we get into when you kind of both at that age, you're trying to figure out who you are, what you want to be. Sometimes it's awkward. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it misses. But let's talk about the friendship first.
Yeah, well, I think it's very amazing how Rönkkö's and Mimmi's relationship feels so real.
Mm-hmm.
A few of my friends already saw the movie because we're in the same class and we saw the movie, and they told me that the one particular scene where they fight is a very real image of friends fighting, because it's so, I don't know.
It's so intense and also like you love each other, but then like we fight, and then Rönkkä sees Mimmi getting hurt, and you sometimes say things that because you know the person, you know how to hurt them, and sometimes when you're mad you say those things out loud, but at the same time you love the other person, and so it's like conflicting.
You don't have to be afraid of losing them at any point.
Yeah, that's probably and also because Rönkkä is also like, she wants what Mimmi and Emma have, and there's this scene where they're in the smoothie shop where she's asking how was it, and she's like, she can be happy for them at the same time that she's kind of like also jealous, like I would want that too. So it's like there is the space in the relationship to feel all those kind of things, that you don't have to be afraid of them. So yeah.
Let's get into the relationship. You just mentioned that she wants what her friend has. So let's get into the dynamic between you ladies and this relationship, and how it's just, like you said, it's not anything you need to bring up. It's just a human relationship. And at a young age, human relationships, no matter who they're with, they can be passionate, they can be fun, they can be awkward. And you ladies start this relationship that already is causing a little bit of jealousness, but in the most regular way.
Yeah.
Tell me how that was. How I guess trying to portray that kind of real relationship on screen is.
Yeah, well, I think the most important and most interesting thing about the relationship that is like getting its first steps in this storyline is that it's something new. It's something, those feelings are something that they have never felt before. And that's like in a teenager's mindset, something that like just blows their head off, because it's so big, and it's just getting the whole of you, because you can't do anything in front of those huge emotions and huge feelings of love. And just the overwhelming thing about it was the most interesting thing to portray.
And I think it's so relatable because I think we can all remember like our first love. And if we could only bottle that energy like they do on Monsters Inc. with the screams, and we could get that teenage love and bottle it, I'm pretty sure we could run all of our streaming off of that, right? Because it's just so intense. But it's something that as you see it and as you're watching it on the screen, you can go back and remember the first time you felt that, and I think we can all remember the first time that we had that interaction with our best friend when they fell in love, right? And you remember kind of how you felt when that happened. And so I'm so excited to see this film. And are you guys having like a fun Sundance experience so far, even though you're in your own satellite Salt or Park City up there?
It's been really great actually, because Sundance manages to really feel inclusive, even if we're all long distance. They really go out there to sort of like have all these video greetings, all these possibilities of mingling, of getting together as a community of artists, share thoughts, have actual real conversations about what's important. And after 2 years of COVID, and after 2 years of focusing all my brain power on this film, and after spending the past 3 months on how to package it and how to deliver it to the world and just look at like me and my film, it's so great to look at my colleagues' work, their artistry and their aesthetics and their statements and their stories. And we've just been streaming so many films, and we have this conversation going about all the topics that are exciting. So it's a far better experience than just the disappointment of not being able to be there. Like you just make it a positive experience about the art and celebrate film and the filmmaker community.
What else do you guys want to say about the film that you want everyone to know before we head out today? This is your chance.
You asked in the beginning how long we have time, so now I guess we should ask.
We have a lot, as much time as you want.
We're not talking about the film, but we know that you have other interesting topics to get to too. I guess that it's a joyous film, like there's a big mission we have with it, and there's definitely a very strong feminist undercurrent, but nothing is preachy. It's not a ranting story. It's a feel-good film. It has a huge heart. Directorially, I really wanted to go toward big emotions all the time. And when you get to the climax of the film, you might even laugh about how much emotion there is in it. But my sort of advice to myself was that always when I'm walking that tightrope of what is too much and what is enough, every time I'm afraid that it's too much, go toward it and make it a bit more. Because teenagers are not subtle. And
No.
that, you shouldn't be too subtle either. A lot of times we as filmmakers, especially in Scandinavia, we're kind of like afraid of being sentimental or emotional, and we try to, stay cool and collected. But this film has an enormous heart, and there was so much love in the making of it. So we hope that you feel that love while watching.
Ladies, anything else you want to say? You're in a Sundance movie. How does that feel?
Yeah, we're so excited.
Yeah.
We're so excited. It's amazing.
Yeah. And I think there's something that Alli talked about while making it, that there's beauty in perfection. And I love the fact that all of these characters are complex, and at some point you actually hate them and then you love them, and they're not black and white. And that a theme, that imperfection is beautiful. You can see it in the landscape. And for example, my character has acne. That's not really much portrayed in films. And yeah, I think it's very, very beautiful story. And yeah, we all love it. We love the film.
Well, I'm excited to see it. I'm so excited for all of you. I wish you the best of luck with this film at Sundance. Again, if you want to see the film, and you should, head over to our comment section, because you can click right there. Go get your tickets. It premieres today at 2:30 Mountain Standard Time. However, you can also get the second screening link tomorrow that will let you see it for a few days if you don't have time to see it today. And then my review for the film will be up tomorrow at whattoseewithval.com and b98.7.com and all the places that you can see all of my reviews. Ladies, thank you so much. And make sure after you're done watching the movie, go to your app on your phone and vote for it. Put your stars in, because that's what they need from you. Congratulations. Thank you so much. And be safe in Helsinki, ladies.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Val. We
thank
appreciate
you.
it. Bye.